8 this year, a ridiculously awful loss this past week, and then also the one a few weeks ago to the Denver Broncos there as well. Had a lead there in Week 10 against the Bears. Wasn't enough, and we have seen this franchise be in a bit of upheaval here for the last few years.
Fourth head coach fired by the New York Giants in the last 8 years. Now this one, I don't really a move had to be made.
Yeah.
I just don't know if firing Brian Daboll was really the answer. I think you got to look at, your general manager that basically let Saquon just walk to your division rival and then win a Super Bowl right away. I mean, you saw what Brian Daboll was doing with the offense. The offense, it seemed like they started to click once Russell Wilson got benched for Jackson Dart. I've been very outspoken how I think Jackson Dart was the best quarterback in the 2025 draft, and he showed it to me so far. But it seemed like things started to change a little bit yesterday when he left with a concussion.
And they did, and rocking those old school uniforms, but not enough to pull away with the win. 17 touchdowns there in 9 games as Jackson Dart continues to struggle, as you said, with those concussions. And, of course, Cam Scatterboo, he's also out with injury there as well. So it looked like there was so much, positive momentum, positive energy for this football team in a lot of different ways, but weren't able to put it all together here. As far as what's next for the Giants, you mentioned it, 4 head coaches in 8 years. In my opinion, if I'm a coach, this job is toxic. Because here they are finally going in the right direction, and they fire their head coach once again. This is a general manager who was seen on tape not listening to his own kid about what quarterback to pick, and then also trading away Saquon Barkley. It feels to me that the coach has been the scapegoat for things that are not under his control.
Yeah, and I mean, you talked about Scatterboo being out. I mean, you can go down the list. Dart is now out, maybe for the next game. That's your quarterback right now. That could be your franchise quarterback. Cam Scatterboo, who looked to be your lead back, out for the rest of the year with an ankle injury. Your best wide receiver, Malik Neighbors, has been out for pretty much. I think Jackson Dart got 1, maybe 2 games with Malik Neighbors. I mean, how is there are issues rooted in the Giants franchise, and honestly, you could easily make the argument that there are issues rooted in both New York franchises, especially the Jets. I mean, the curse of Joe Namath. Who knows? I mean, I don't know if Aaron Glenn's going to be able to turn that one around. I think it's still too early. We saw what happened with Dan Campbell in his first year. And, I mean, he had the emotional press conference that everyone remembers. And now look what he's done. He took over play calling this week and just absolutely obliterated the Commanders. Now, on this side, I feel like firing Brian Daboll was not the right decision. And I think a team over in Orchard Park is glad that New York fired him, especially after, the performance they had against the Miami Dolphins yesterday. I would definitely take Brian Daboll back fire the Bills.
I was about to ask, do you think that loss puts McDermott on the hot seat and a possibility for Daboll to come in?
Now, I don't see it like that. But since we're talking about the SEC, maybe, there's one guy that's in consideration for the LSU job. That's Joe Brady. What's Joe Brady's position with the Bills right now? Offensive coordinator. Who was the former offensive coordinator for the Bills? Brian Daboll. So the carousel is just going to keep on coming around. And Brian Daboll graduated from the University of Rochester, which is about an hour away from Buffalo.
Okay, no, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. So he's got those. He's got
the Western New York roots.
Right. And so it will be interesting to see if he goes, if he goes and or stays. So I was actually going to ask you, what do you think? What is next for Daboll? But here you see some of the reasons why he was fired. Their final record: 20-40-1, 2-8 this year. Made the playoffs back in 2022. NFL Coach of the Year. Things are looking good. Things are looking positive. But 4 blown double-digit leads late. The one that against the Broncos stands out. The one on Sunday stands out there as well. Where do you think that the New York Giants go from here?
Well, I think before the season, I might have said this on this show, and I was pointing out to 3 weeks later from right now that obviously Brian Daboll came into the season on the hot seat, just hasn't been able to replicate the 2022 performance where he won Coach of the Year.
The
Giants don't have a bye week this week, but they do in 3 weeks. And that's when I was like, You know what? I would keep an eye out for Bill Belichick to come back to the NFL ranks. Now, we've seen how UNC has turned out this year, but it seems like they're starting to turn the corner here.
They've won 2 in a row,
They've won two in a row, trying to get back to a bowl game.
Right.
If they don't get to a bowl game, UNC's season is going to be done by the time the Giants' bye week is. So I know Mike Kafka is the interim head coach right now.
Right.
He could be the interim head coach for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You got Bill Belichick. Maybe he wants one more shot at the NFL. And then he goes up to East Rutherford.
He's got a lot of familiarity with the Giants. He has a boat. I think his boat is called it's 8 rings. His boat is called 8 rings, and it's all the rings that he's won as a coach. But everybody's like, oh, you won 6 with the Patriots. But keep in mind, he won 2 as defensive coordinator for Bill Parcells with the New York Giants. And I think there's always been a soft spot in his heart for that
the Giants kind of got him out of 2 more.
Yes.
Specifically Eli Manning.
Correct. And so I do think that there might be something there for Brian Daboll if he does.
And he wants to get back at Robert Kraft,
too. He does. I think he wants to get back to the pros for sure. I think that he's understood that college is not his game. I think he is a pro guy.
Yep.
And this could be interesting for him. Is there any chance that you think Daboll goes back to college? Or do you think he stays in the NFL?
No, I really see him going back to Buffalo. I mean, they need something right now. Josh Allen, he had an MVP caliber season, but the ups and the downs have just not been good.
Right.
I think he's either an offensive analyst with the Bills or Joe Brady leaves and then he becomes the offensive coordinator.
There could be a pipeline here from the SEC back up to where we play our professional football there in New York.